Hello friends, in this video tutorial I will be explaining how to set up AutoCAD for two-dimensional drafting. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more great contents, and if you have any questions or queries regarding my tutorial on YouTube, please let me know via comments. Thank you. Before opening AutoCAD, we will need to create a new file by the name of drawings. Once we have done this, double click into drawings file and create two new files known as CAD and PDF. After doing this, close this drawing file and double click on the AutoCAD application and wait until it boots up. This might take a bit of time, so you might have to be a bit patient. Once AutoCAD starts, click on New. This tab here which will create a new blank drawing file. Ignore all of these. To the right hand side of the Open tab, click on the drop down arrow and click Open with no template metric. This will open a brand new metric template file. Metric means meters and millimeters and not inches and feet. Once you have done this, a new drawing file will open and you can start setting up for two-dimensional drafting. Now before we start setting up for drafting, there are a few things that we need to do in order to make our display look better. When you start, the grids will be turned on. The cursor and the pick box will be very much small. So we will have to change this by pressing the command OP for options and press enter. When in options, click on display, change the crosshair size to 80 or a suitable size which you might like. Then click on open and save. Do not change this file extension. However, should a person have a different or a lower version of AutoCAD than yours, then you can go here, change it and then send it to them. Secondly, change the automatic save time to 5 minutes. This will usually be set to 10 minutes. Click on plot and publish. Use as default output device. Click on this drop down arrow and click on DWG to PDF.PC3. We'll explain as to why we have selected this. Once you've done that, plot to file, click on this tab and go to the file that you had created earlier on by the name of drawings or whatever names you have put it. Click on drawings, select the CAD file. This is where our CAD file, DWG file, will be stored, and do a select. Now that that is done, click on system. You do not need to change anything here. User preferences, you do not need to make any changes here. Drafting, the auto snap marker will by default be set to this. So what you can do is just put it to a approximate of 35%. And the aperture, you can just put it to either 100 or an 80. So I'll just leave it at 80 for now. You don't have to make any changes in 3D modeling because I will be showing how to set up for 3D modeling in another video. Click on selection. The pick box size will be very small. The grip size will be very small. So what you'll have to do is increase the size to your liking. For the grip size, do not increase by too much. Just put it to a 20 to 25% ratio. Now that all of this is done, click on profiles. You don't have to do anything here. Click on online. You don't have to do anything here. Now click on apply. Once the apply tab turns out of gray, click OK. To turn off grids, there are two methods. One, you can use this tab to turn it on or off, or you can alternatively use key F7 to turn it off or turn it on. I'll leave it off for this case. Now what we can do is enter a PR for properties to enable the properties palette. Now this is very important and this should always be active because this will show you the information of your drawing. Let me show you. If you do a rectangle and you wish to find out its properties, you can click here Go down to geometry and you'll see the area is given as 25.807.3 square meter. This is in mm squared. You'll have to convert this. And the length is given as 745 millimeter, 745.9 millimeter. The properties palette is very much important. After that, you will go head down here to the scale tab. Click on XREF scales and uncheck percentage. Leave your scale to 1:1. I will explain in another video as to why we should leave the scale to 1:1 in the starting and adjust in later drawings. Once that is done, click here to this drop down arrow and it will give you a show menu bar. Click on show menu bar. But if you have this menu bar here, you don't have to take that step. Now that we have set up the basics for drafting, let's set up the units. Where I'm from, we use meters and millimeters for distance and degrees, minutes and seconds for angles and line bearings. Let me show you how to set it up. There are two ways you can enter into the units. You can either type units, or you can click on the format tab, go to units and set up your units from there. The length will be in decimal, but the precision of it will be 0, not 0.00, because millimeters, we do not represent millimeters in 0.00. You can put it to 0.0, 0.00, 0.00 and whatnot. But for this case, I leave it to one simple 0. Click on angle type. This should be degrees, minutes and seconds. So there's DEG/MIN/SEC. The precision of it should also be degrees, 0 degrees, 00 minutes and 00 seconds. The units to be selected to millimeters. Click on clockwise, click on direction, click on north. Press OK. Once you have set this up, click OK. Now what we will need to do is set up the drawing limits. I will mostly be using A3 for my architectural drawings, so I will set it up to A3. You can set it up to A4, A1 and B5, whichever sheet you think is right. So there are two ways. There is only one way for this. Click on format, click on drawing limits, start with an origin 0, 0 or 0 tab key and then 0. Tab allows you to switch between two tiles and press enter. Then you enter your length first of 420, then you press your tab 297 millimeters and you press enter. Now that this is done, click on Z for zoom and type ILL for all. This will zoom all. So this will zoom your entire window. To check that you have done this the right way, your distance from cross pane to cross pane should give you in distance in hundreds and not in thousands and not in millions. In this case, we are getting our distances in hundreds. If this was set to something more than 420 by 297, this would be giving you thousands. Once you have set up your drawing limits, you will now set up text styles. And all of our text styles will be in annotation, which I will explain further in this video as to why I have done that. There are 4 types of text styles. One for dimension, one for layout text, one for multi-leader, one for title block, and one for grid references. Click on format, go to text styles, click on new, and rename your style 1 to the first dimension, which is the first text format, which is dimensions. Click on OK. Select your font name. In this case, I will be using Arial. Just a plain simple Arial. Font style to be regular. Make sure it's annotative. And the dimensions for the text height for the dimensions text should be 2.5 millimeters, or you can put 2 millimeters depending on what is right. If you put more than 2.5, when you put a dimension in a dimension floor plane, it will only match up to all of the other dimension. It will make your drawing look untidy. Once this is done, click on apply and click on new. Change the style name to layout text. To layout text. Click on OK. Now the layout text has to be small. So in this case, we'll put it as 1.5 millimeters. Now you are seeing that it changed to 2, but it's not actually 2, it's only rounding off to 2. The value is still 1.5 because we have selected 10 precision in the units tab. Everything else will be the same. You just have to click on new, and you just have, if it gives you this window, since apply was not highlighted here, we'll just click on yes, and we'll do another style. So now we will be creating a multi-leader style. Multi-leader style. Everything will be the same, but the pipa text height for this will be 1.5. Do not change anything in effects for any of the text styles because you can set this up while you are drafting according to your liking. Now click on apply and click on new. Now we will do a title block text. And when we do another video on plotting and publishing, I will explain why I have put it this way. The text height for this will be 2 millimeters, and that's all. It will be annotative, do not have to change. Then click on apply and click on new. And lastly, we will do grid references. So just a simple grid line or grid text. Click on OK. But this size will now turn to 3 millimeters. Click on apply. Click on close. Now that you have done that, we will be setting up the multi-line styles. Multi-lines are two parallel lines which we usually use for rectangles. Let me show you how to set it up. Click on format. Click on multi-line style. The first one you'll see will be standard, so you don't have to touch that. Just click on new and give it a name of 200 millimeters. And click on continue. Once here, the only things that you have to change is the line start and the line end. This will basically create lines at the ends of the parallel lines to make it look like a rectangle. If you use a display joints, it will give another line in the middle. You can use this for precast work, but since we are not using precast, we are using concrete blocks, we will only be using start and end lines. Now, change, there are two values here, 0.5 and a minus 0.5. This is set by default. We do not want this. The first one will be 0 and the other one will be 200. Click on OK. Now we'll set a new text style and we will name it to 150 mm. Do not worry about this. This is only bringing in the properties. If you change anything here, it will not change anything in the previous styles. Click on continue. The only thing that we have to change here is this offset, which will now go to 150. Now the distances that I am saying again are in millimeters, not meters and not centimeters. Click on OK. Add a new style of 100 mm. And click on continue. Just change this offset to 100. You just have to write 100. Do not worry about putting points and dots and whatever. Just write 100 and click OK. Once you are done, whichever style you like, you may set it to current and click on OK. Now what we will do is set up the dimension formats. So click on format, click on dimension styles, create a new one and write it there, dimensions, or you can rename it to whatever you like. I will, for this case, will put it to dimensions. Don't worry about these. This will just be importing the format from the other side to make your work easy, but we'll change everything in here. So we will click on annotative, or if you don't want, you don't have to. Then click on continue. Now that your dimensions styles has come up, firstly click on lines. Everything here that is seen to be by block, we will change it all to by layer. Now that you have done this, click on fixed extension lengths and change this from 1 to a distance of 5 millimeters. Now that is done, click on symbols and arrows, and we'll start from the top. Now, arrows are basically these indicators here. Remember, architects use architectural ticks, engineers use closed field arrows for their dimensioning. So click on architectural tick, leave the leader as it is, we do not use that anyway, and the arrow size should not be greater than 2 millimeters. The center mark should also not be greater than 2 millimeters. That's all you have to change here. And click on text, click on this drop down arrow, and just add your dimension text format to the standard. This should be by layer and don't have to do anything about that. Offset from dimension line is basically the distance between the bottom of this text to this line. So we can just call it a 10, or if not, we can just put it as 5. You don't have to change anything. Click on fit. So it will tell you if there isn't enough room to place both text and arrows inside extension line, the first thing to move outside of the extension line is. You don't have to move anything outside, just click on suppress arrows if they don't fit inside extension lines. Because if you want to move your distances out in a floor dimension plane, everything will look shifted and you will not know which dimension you are going to use. Now that that is done, click on primary units. Leave this on decimal, unit format to be on decimal, the precision to be on 10, or you can put 2 or 3 or whichever one you think is right. Don't have to do anything in alternate units. Don't have to do anything in tolerances. Now that that is set up, click OK and close this. The command that I just typed there is RE. RE means regenerate, which I will explain in another command video. Now, snapping. What a snapping does basically is provide a corner point for you to draw your lines on easily, so you don't have to put many construction lines. That box that you're seeing right on the top corner, that is a snapping line. And it allows you to pick up lines from anywhere that you want and just click it onto anywhere, straight and simple. Let me explain what type of snappings we use mostly. When you go to the snapping option, just click on this drop down arrow, click on the object snapping setting. On object snap, just select everything and click OK. Now, there are 2 more things you need to be aware of. One is ortho mode. This basically keeps your lines in 90-degree angles or to selected angles. It will keep your line straight, you cannot rotate it. However, if you wish to use polar tracking, you can rotate your line anywhere freely and there won't be a problem. It will not stiffen up your lines. How to turn on ortho mode? You just click it here, it will turn into blue, that means the ortho mode is turned on. Click it there again to turn it off. Alternatively, if you wish to use hotkeys, use F8, key F8 to turn it on and key F8 to turn it off. Similarly with polar tracking, you will use F10 to turn it on, F10 to turn it off, click here to turn it on or click here to turn it off. We do not use isometric drafting. 3D drafting is for another video I will explain because this is a slightly bit complicated. Once you learn 2D, then you'll know what you are actually doing. These are the various type of scales, annotation, and this is the scale. Now, as I said in the starting, you need to leave the scale in 1:1 because when we set up our drawing for plotting and publishing, that is the time when we will decide as to what scale our drawings will be reflected to. This is workspace switching. Now, another cool feature that AutoCAD has given is when you have several drawings open and you do not wish to, and if you are walking in the corner and you do not wish to go up with your mouse and change, just simultaneously press Ctrl plus Tab key and it will switch between your windows or switch between your drawing tabs. Now I'm back to my drawing tab. Let's do this one more time. And that brought me back. So just click on Control, then add tab. That's it. Hold the Control button down, then press tab. If you try to click them both once, it will not work. This is another important factor in AutoCAD. all of these have to be checked on, but remember, if you have a lower quality laptop or PC, this will make your drawings a bit slow. Let me explain what I'm saying by this all should be checked on. If we switch that off and we draw a line, it will be straight, but the orientation of it will be jagged. However, if you have this feature on, smooth lines display, click on OK, it will immediately straighten out all of your lines. This is a clean screen. Now, I have seen most people are intimidated with this, but you don't actually have to be, because it will not clean your screen completely. It will just give you a bigger screen to work on. Let me show you. You can turn this on by either clicking here, and it clears your screen just for you to work on. It will not erase your drawings. And you can press Ctrl+0 to turn it off or turn it on. This is on, Ctrl+0, and this is off. Now here is all these that are here are shown here. So whatever we are not using, we can just uncheck them. We don't use coordinates. We do not use model space. We do not, or you can use grids, it's up to you. We do not use infra constraints. And the rest that are ticked on, we use them. Now, one more thing before I end out this video. These two. This will turn on the grid and turn it off. This will turn on grid snapping. So if this is blue and you are making a drawing, it will be very difficult for you to draw as it will keep snapping to the grids. As you can see there, it will keep snapping to the grids. So if you are facing that problem, just come down here, uncheck this. That's all for me on this video. However, there will be another video on setting up, publishing and plotting of layouts. Until then, this is Shanil Narayan signing out. Goodbye.